Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Welcome to our online Kashmir Cultural Heritage Awareness Series. Today is our 61st week with our fourth book review, Raktim Tandav, written by Sri Bhupinder Singh Raina, a retired Air Force pilot. Our Rohini ji will do the book review, and we'll start with a prayer by Varshika Satish. Varshika, please go ahead.
राजगोपालम् राजगोपालम् भजेऽहं राम लीलं राजगोपालम् भजेऽहं राम लीलं राजगोपालं भजेऽहं राम लीलं राजगोपालं भजे तेजोमय मोहनकरम् तेजोमय मोहनकरं सेव्याम्बरातितरं तेजोमय मोहनकरं सेव्याम्बरातितरं गजराजपूजितपदं मुनिजननत गोविन्दं गजराजपूजितपदं मुनिजननत गोविन्दं राजगोपालं भजेऽहं राम लीलं राजगोपालं भजे नारदादि कृतभजनम् नारदादि कृतभजनं नादलययुतसदनं नारदादि कृतभजनं नादलययुतसदनं हरिद्रा नदीतीरं हरिद्रा नदीतीरं आद्यादि पापहरं हरिद्रा नदीतीरं आद्यादि पापहरं पारिजाततरुमूलम् पारिजाततरुमूलं पङ्कजनयन विशालं गुरुगुहहितवनमालं गोपीजनमालोलं राजगोपालं पारिजाततरुमूलं पङ्कजनयन विशालं गुरुगुहहितवनमालं गोपीजनमालोलं राजगोपालं भजेऽहं राम लीलं राजगोपालं भजे
Thank you, Varshika. Varshika is grade 6 student of Vidya Mandir School, Mylapore, Chennai. She is a Carnatic music student of Srimati Jayasri Jayaramakrishnan and has been learning for the last 5 years. While living in Kuwait earlier, She learned Carnatic online with Mrs. Lalita Vardarajan for 2 years. She is well known in Kuwait for her bhajan songs and was an active participant in Panduranga Bhajan Mandala in Kuwait. Thank you, Varshika. We'll look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you.
We thank Kanchimat for our ongoing Kashmir initiative and offer our namaskaram to His Holiness Sri Shankar Vijayendra Saraswati Swamigal. Kanchimat, as we know, has always been in the forefront, modestly working with the sole aim of national integration, spiritual enlightenment, and preserving the uniqueness of Kashmir, as Kashmir is our cultural heritage. As always, we are pleased to have Rohini ji among us joining for the book review. She is part of our Kashmir series already, as she is not only appearing in our series, she conducts book reviews, and she has a long list that we'll be covering soon. We now request her to take over and introduce Sri Bhupinder Singh Raina, the author of the book Raktim Tandav. This is another interesting session on Kashmir. Rohini ji, I don't see Bhupinder Singh yet.
Okay,
I just tried to call him too.
okay. You try.
Maybe he has
Okay.
got some problems.
While I introduce him, maybe you can try
Yeah, yeah,
calling him.
you go ahead. I'll try to call him.
So, first of all, namaskar to all our viewers tonight. I'm very happy to be here once again with another book, and this time the book is quite different from the ones that we have been presenting in the past. It's a poetry collection by Mr. Bhupinder Singh Raina. Mr. Bhupinder Singh Raina is a retired Air Force officer, and he has many other books to his credit. He has written Benam Rishte, a Hindi novel, which is being taught to the MA students in universities these days. And the other book, which goes to his credit, is a Punjabi book, Paap the Pand, and which is soon to become a web series. The book Raktim Tandav is somewhat different. It's though it touches upon the brief historic past of Kashmir, but it's not truly historic. It's a book which has been written in very simple words, which can be enjoyed by someone who is not so much into poetry. And it's a poetic description of Kashmir as it was in its days of happiness and how gradually it turned into a breeding ground of hatred and bloodbath. In fewer and very simple words, the author has done justice to a community by bringing out the poignant story of their lost identity, past glory, and their never ending misery till this day. The poetry collection will help readers to know the transition of Kashmir from a peaceful heaven on earth to a bloodthirsty valley. Written very boldly, the author has not minced any words to shed light on some bitter realities about various actors and situations that engulfed the valley in the darkness which was devoid of love and humanity. The part two of the book, again a poetry collection, touches every human heart as it reflects the deeper feelings associated with a life lived as one looks back and takes stock of the things lost, regrets, hopes, love, and betrayal. A man lives his own whole life and reaches a stage to find that it could have been lived better had there been no greed, lust, hatred. Value of every relationship is understood when those people vanish from our lives. The book brings a feeling of nostalgia and at the same time hope that some things can be changed. On one hand, there is a love lost forever, and on the other, the longing to see a daughter and a grandchild. There is the pain of receiving the cold, dead bodies of the soldiers who never got back home in the same way as they had bid goodbye. It feels like the story of every human being. So, with that, I would love to invite Mr. Bhupinder Singh Raina. I hope he's back with us on stage now.
No, he's having some difficulty in connection.
Okay.
I think, I mean, he's got the link and he's working on that. He should be online any moment. Do you have the book with you?
No, actually, it's under publication, and he told me that
Oh,
he's going to receive it by Saturday, by today. So,
he should
hoping.
join.
But I've read the book.
Okay.
I got a digital copy of it, and
Oh,
I have read
okay.
it. It's a very easy read, and anyone who knows Hindi, can read Hindi, and is not so, as I said, enthusiastic about poetry. Not everyone can be, but if the readers simply go through this book, I think within hours they will get to know the transition, as I said. So it's a very
Oh,
easy read
okay.
and very interesting.
Yeah, I could see that this covers a little bit of terrorism also, right?
Yeah, it
In
does.
Kashmir.
It does. It covers some of the reasons behind it, and uh, the how the lives of people changed, what it was pre and post. That contrast, which has been written in this book, is really beautiful.
Yeah, he sent me a book cover also that it's available in Amazon. Let me check once more what the issue is. It never usually happens. Yeah, that he has seen the link. What should we do? Before he joins, as I was telling you that we can't pretend as if nothing is happening. I was just referring to the news. We'll talk about it towards the end. I think it's just joined.
Hello.
Namaskar, namaskar, Bhupinder ji.
Namaskar,
Namaskar, sir.
namaskar. I'm sorry
No, that's
for
okay. That's
being
okay.
little late.
But it's okay. You get a handle over that. I think there was some slight disturbances there.
Yes, there was a problem here. So it's okay now. We can
No, it's okay. We are
continue
able to see
this.
you. Yes.
Right. Do you listen me also?
Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, you
Okay.
could see Rohini ji there on the top.
Namaskar, Rohini ji. Namaskar.
Namaskar, sir. While you were away,
Mm,
I did introduce you to the audience and spoke a little bit about the book also. So, can we jump into the questions straight away, if you permit? So, you're not audible.
There
yes,
is,
I can hear you.
yeah, it's audible, but some disturbances there, I think, from your end.
So, the book talks
Please
about
go
the
ahead.
march, exodus of innocent people due to terrorism from Kashmir in 1990. The account that you have given is extremely close to the truth, and you have really delved deep into the sufferings of people and their emotions and feelings. Um, I'm very curious to know, is this book based on your personal experiences or observations?
Yes. First of all, I would like to thank Kanchi Pete and yourself. You invited me to this esteemed group, and now we are going to talk on this. Raktim Tandav. As a matter of fact, when this in 1989, when the trouble started in Kashmir, I was in Bangalore, and after 1.5 years, when I went to Jammu and from Jammu to Kashmir, I found that Kashmir was a cantonment of army, and many things had happened during this period. I met many of my friends who in Jammu who had suffered, जिनको बहुत इन्होंने पीड़ा झेली थी, और उस पीड़ा को मैं उन कैंपों में गया जहाँ ये विस्थापित रहते थे, और एक एक के पास जाके उस पीड़ा को मैंने महसूस किया। मैं वैसे एक पंजाबी का नॉवलिस्ट हूँ, और 1973-74 में मेरे पहले नावल पब्लिश हुए थे, और उसके बाद में for 40 years I did not write anything। पर जिस वक्त ये कश्मीर में ये एक्सपोज हुआ, और वो जो पीड़ा थी, वो त्रासदी थी, उसको महसूस मैंने किया अपने मन से, अपने हृदय से, तो मैंने उस पीड़ा को अपने शब्दों में व्यक्त किया है, और वो आपने भी उसको पढ़ा है, और उसके लिए आपने एक मेरी उस बुक की भूमिका भी लिखी है, जिसके लिए भी मैं आपसे बहुत शुक्रगुजार हूँ। तो ये सब मेरा देखा हुआ है, मेरा पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस हुआ है, जिसको मैंने उस पुस्तक में लिखा है। और हाँ, मैं ये जिस वक्त 92-93 की बात है, जब ये सब मैंने देखा, तो मैंने महसूस किया कि मैं इसको कुछ लिखूं, और मेरी जो पहली कविता थी इस रक्तिम तांडव की, वो यही कविता थी कि मैं अपने आप को महसूस कर रहा था कि मुझे क्यों नहीं कुछ लिखना चाहिए इस पीड़ा के ऊपर। तो उसको मैंने इन शब्दों में व्यक्त किया कि एक हस्ताक्षर हूँ मैं, जिसका अस्तित्व खो गया था, क्योंकि मैं बाहर ही रहा हूँ, और वो जो कश्मीरी अस्तित्व था वो मेरा खो गया था। एक हस्ताक्षर हूँ मैं, जिसका अस्तित्व खो गया था, समय के धुंधलके में जो भूल गया था अपना दायित्व, जीवता की दौड़ में, लाशता की होड़ में भूल गया था अपना कर्तव्य, अपने समाज के प्रति, समाज की पीड़ा के प्रति। मेरे अपनों की पीड़ा ने, वेदना ने, उनके रिश्ते गांव ने जो झोला है मुझे और बाध्य किया है पीड़ा ढूंढने के लिए शब्दों के कंधों पर। ये शब्द जो मेरे हैं उस पीड़ा को ढो रहे हैं, शब्दों के कंधों पर उस त्रासदी की जो निशब्द है। तो जो त्रासदी है उसके लिए शब्द नहीं बयान किए जा सकते कि क्या हुआ था कश्मीरी पंछियों के साथ में, और निशब्द उस त्रासदी की जो निशब्द है। प्रयत्नशील हूँ उठा बांटने को, अपनी मातृभूमि की, अपने समाज की, उसके रक्त की जो व्यक्त बहा है गलियों में, खलियानों में। आत्मा से अक्षर अंकित हुए हैं, ये मेरी आत्मा के अक्षर हैं जो अंकित हुए हैं। आत्मा से अक्षर अंकित हुए हैं और बने हैं साक्षी उन गिरते मूल्यों के, संकीर्ण चिंतन के, विशाली सोच के, क्षेत्रहीनता के, मनुष्य नीचता के। ये सब कुछ हुआ है, इतने अपनी सोच और चरित्रहीनता के, मुंशीहीनता के और उस रक्तम तांडव के जो कश्मीर की धरती पर नाचा जा रहा है बरसों से। ये मेरी पहली कविता थी जिसको मैंने शुरू किया, और ये पूरी की पूरी कविताएं वैसे देखिए ये गाथा है कश्मीरी पंडितों के विस्थापन की और निष्कासन की, जिसको
Sir,
मैंने
I'm
अक्षर
sorry
दिए।
to interrupt you. I just have a request that majority of the viewers are people who understand English. So, though it's
Please go ahead.
beautiful to hear it in Hindi because that's the original version of the writing, but it would please the convenience of people who are listening this.
Rohini ji, there are a
Without
lot of
any.
disturbances. I'm not able to hear. Right?
Yeah,
The
yeah, there
audio
is a
disturbance is
disturbance.
there. Maybe your mic,
Yes,
you got to check your mic, maybe a lot of disturbance.
But it's okay. I can
You
understand. I
stopped for
can
a
hear
while
you.
and started again.
I can hear you properly.
Yeah, but Rohini ji, is it okay for you?
no, it's a very there is disturbance and I cannot hear.
Yeah, not able to hear.
So
Now
Yeah,
it's no,
if we remove it and directly talk on.
maybe we
yeah,
try that.
So
that's
This
better.
is better. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
yes, we can. Yeah.
Yeah, now we can hear you.
ठीक है. हाँ रोनी जी बोलिए.
So
Can you
what I
listen
was
me?
saying is that yes, I can hear you. What I said was that the majority of the viewers of this program understand English and they don't understand Hindi. So I would request you to talk about the book uh,
No,
in,
I'll talk about book in Hindi in English, but anyway, the poems could not be translated into Hindi. They'll remain as
certainly,
they are written in.
absolutely,
in
absolutely.
Hmm.
So it's really poignant. The the lines that you read, it truly depicts the situation of 1990 and post that. The second question that I want to ask you is that the book also speaks very boldly about various actors involved in this entire saga of Kashmir turning into a hotbed of terrorism. Would you like to shed some light on that about what you've written in the book?
Well, as a matter of fact, the all situation was spoiled in Kashmir by some West interests. This is just not in 69, 70, sorry, 89 and 90. This had become very earlier. Even the Hindu leaders, those who knew it, they think is going to happen one day in Kashmir, and Kashmiri Pandits will be targeted. And this was from say 1947, 1950 onwards, when the Kashmir, it was decided the some of the part of Kashmir will be in Pakistan, the other will be here. But majority of the people was of other religion. They never wanted the Kashmiri Pandits or Sikhs should remain in Kashmir, because it was there in their mind to make that a Muslim country, a Muslim state rather. So it became likewise when 1969, 1989, the it blasted, and there were certain powers behind it which made Hindus to leave the state and come out of the state, and then They became they went all over India, in Jammu especially, and in other states of the India. And as being educated people, they adjusted themselves and continued there. So that was the main thing.
Right. The second part of the book is highly emotional account of human beings looking back and taking account of how they lived their entire life, uh, what they lost, and if they could have changed something in life or done something differently, which could have made their lives much better. It really creates nostalgia and also regret, sometimes happiness on some counts. And
Yes,
on
yes.
the whole, it's highly emotional, and any human being can relate to it. So, what do you have to say to that?
Well, I could not hear you properly as the network was not in
Okay.
use.
What I said was that the second part of your book, which it talks about, gives an emotional account of human beings looking back and taking account of how they lived their entire life, what they lost, and if they could have done something differently, which could have made their life much happier. It creates nostalgia at some point and some regret and also happiness on some counts. On the whole, it's highly emotional, and any human being can relate to it. uh,
Actually,
what do you have to say
what
about that?
happens, I'm being a social person and having relations with many people, with our own people also. Now, the atmosphere of relationship is changing totally. The parents, which are still uh, thinking and upbringing their children, they are educated, they select their careers, and once they are established, settled, they forget their parents who had done everything for them. So these are the feelings I have put in some poems, and then my own emotions, which I feel I'm not able to streamline it. So that way also there are, because I did not bring any I mean say any poem from that second part, but it is all regarding human relations which are being uh, not kept well in these days.
This book also talks about patriotism. You've written about soldiers returning from the battlefields not alive. And I understand that you are an ex defense professional, and so tell us something about what you have written about the patriotism in the book.
Well, I will. I can't listen you properly. Should I use it again?
No, no, it's okay. Maybe I'll hold my mic a little higher. What I asked
Uh,
is that your poetry also reflects a lot of patriotism, and I understand that you are yourself an ex defense professional. And in this book also, you've talked a lot about the soldiers fighting on the borders, and their families, how they are devastated because of their loss. So can you tell us something about that?
See, a soldier when dies on the border, he is brought wrapped in tranga, and His children, his wife, they become helpless, and a child of 7 years or 8 years, he just lights fire to his father. He doesn't know whether his father is gone forever. He may come or not. The woman who's is just widowed and her complete life remains there to, though the government, the defense, they provide many um, many things, many benefits, but can a man come back for his children, for his wife? So these are the things which are very, you see, emotional, and those emotions are I get touched to those emotions and write in words. So there are many such things as a human being. The humanities are many things happen in this regard that the words which appear in my mind, I write it on the paper. So you might have seen many of my poems which are very emotional and relevant.
Yes, that's true. Uh, One remarkable thing about this book, Raktim Tandav, is that, which I felt was that it shows the contrast. When you read this book, you can actually picturize in front of your eyes. That's the beauty of it. The contrast between the past and the present, the lives of people, how they changed from pre 1990 when they lived in their homes happily and afterwards. Uh, it's actually something which could serve as a very quick glance at what exactly happened in Kashmir. So, can you tell us a little bit about that? What you've
You
written.
see, there's a poem in the book Swarg. Swarg means
Heaven.
heaven. ये तब की बात है जब कश्मीर की घाटी में चैन था, शांति थी। ये तब की बात है जब कश्मीर की घाटी में चैन था, शांति थी। कश्यप ऋषि की धरती स्वर्ग के भांति थी। नदी नाले, खेत खलियान, वन और उद्यान महकते थे। आपस में भाईचारे के सुर से जीवन बहकते थे। नशा आ जाता था रिश्तों में, तो किंतु कुर्सी की दौड़ ने, स्वार्थ की होड़ ने घृणा के चिन्ह छोड़ दिए। हमदर्दी और मोहब्बत के रास्ते ही मोड़ दिए। सहानुभूति मतलब हमदर्दी, जो सिंपैथी थी इन अमंग द पीपल, सहानुभूति, अपनापन और भाईचारा सोच की तंग गलियों में खो गया। ऐसे लगा जैसे कश्मीरी हिंदू किसी मझधार में खो गया। मंदिरों में घंटियों की टनकार मंद हो गई। That was the time when this exodus happened. मंदिरों में घंटों की टनकार मंद हो गई, शिवालयों में आरती की गूंज बंद हो गई। सिमट गया जीवन बंद गलियारों के भीतर। जहां बोए थे कश्मीरियत के बीज, उग आए थे वहां कीकर। पड़ोसी पड़ोसी नहीं रहा, मित्र मित्र नहीं रहा, किसी हमदर्द का कोई चित्र नहीं रहा। तो these are what had happened at that time, कि even friends, those who were close to you, those who were um, across, you can open your window and see them. They turned, and trust which was on each other, it just cracked.
When
And I remember when in my childhood, I used to visit my. I had a friend. He was riding in Habakadal, and inside a gully. Sometimes I was studying in college at that time, and I have seen his grandfather sitting on the window and smoking hookah, and he would talk across to the another windows person who's sitting in another window, or एक दूसरे का they'll ask for each other's welfare, and the same people, those who were so, I mean, part of their life and soul, they turned and became
hostile.
upside, and they, because of them, the Kashmiris were victimized, Kashmiri Pandits were victimized, and they had to fled their own homes. So this was what had happened in that. Or आपको, you may be knowing, they, it started when a night in the month of November, December, there were hard announcements from all the mosques of Srinagar. Srinagar has hundreds of mosques. In every mosque, the same announcement was made. That on that announcement also, I have written a poem. You can, if you wish to, I mean, listen it. I'll
Yeah,
just go through it.
sure, sir.
वो काली स्याह रात, the dark night, जब मस्जिदों से निकलती आवाजें, पंतो ये धरती छोड़ दो या मुसलमान बन जाओ, अपनी औरतों को यहाँ छोड़ दो और गुमनाम हो जाओ. ये कितनी बड़ी ट्रेजेडी है. दिस द बिग ट्रेजेडी ऑन इन ह्यूमन हिस्ट्री. अपनी औरतों को यहाँ छोड़ दो और गुमनाम हो जाओ. ये मुल्क हमारा है, काफरों से इसे पाक करना है. ऐसे भाषण सुनकर पंडितों में सन्नाटा पसर गया. क्या फिर सुबह होगी? वो रात भर ये ऐसे चलते रहे, ऐलान चलते रहे. क्या फिर सुबह होगी? भय आत्मा में बसर गया. मासूम बच्चों के चेहरे देख माता पिता बुजुर्ग भयभीत हो गए. जिनके साथ जीवन बताया था वो मित्र अब अश्लील हो गए. जो पड़ोसी हमारी बहुओं को, बेटियों को अपनी बहू बेटी समझता था, वही अश्लील हो गया. वो परले की रात थी जो विश्वास नष्ट कर गई. नापाक मानसिकता रिश्तों को भ्रष्ट कर गई. उस रात के बाद बच्चों को गोद से छीनकर कितनी स्त्रियों को पतित किया, कितनों के स्तब काटे, कितनों से बलात्कार किया, कितनों को जिंदा जला दिया, मनुष्यता को शर्मसार किया. क्या इस बर्बरता का नाम जिहाद है? कैसी धर्म की जंग है जिसके लिए अमानवी फसाद है? प्लेम आरंभ हो गया. ये कैसा अभिशाप था, कैसा पाप था, घर से बेघर होने का कैसा संताप था. तो ये सब ऐसी मार्मिक फीलिंग है जो मेरे मन में आई हैं उस दौरान. और ये त्रासदी देख के और उन फीलिंग्स को उनको मैंने लिखा है और अपनी वेदना को प्रकट करने की कोशिश की है. So this is what has happened. I am writing it in my poems that how the Kashmiri Pandits were forced to leave their homeland, their houses, their properties, and became migrants in Indian states, Indian cities. So this is and if और सबसे बड़ी ये बात है the original ab initio citizens of this country they became refugees and how what was their survival how they survived I have gone through that also I have seen them how they even here also in uh, out of Kashmir also they were exploited the women were exploited the men those who are working in factories they were exploited so it was a horrible treatment they met here in Indian cities and और उसी तर्क के उसी मुसीबत से वो वहां से भाग आए थे and here also they suffered a lot anyway so it's all gone now and still we are struggling मैंने एक और कविता मैं आपको सुनाता हूँ अब तो तांडव है जो तांडव में तो कविता ही हैं क्या कैसे ये कविताएं बनी है तो ये मैं आपको एक कविता सुनाता हूँ धरती के स्वर्ग को लग गई नजर कश्मीर आप सुन रही हैं ना मुझे
Yes, sir. Very much. I'm with you.
धरती के स्वर्ग को लग गई नजर भू स्वर्ग में विद्रोह की गंध फैल गई अलगवाद का बिगुल बज उठा रक्त फैल गया समाचार पत्रों की सुर्खियों पर चारों ओर हाहाकार का नाद था झेलम की लहरों में बह गया पड़ोसी का इत्मीनान था न्याय प्रेशर भी रक्त रंजित हो गया कोर्ट was also bloodshed टिकाला टोपू जी का रक्त सड़कों पर बह गया हर गली मोहल्ले में नफरत की बूर फैल गई कश्मीरियत की भावना जेल में बह गई वो जो कश्मीर की भावना थी एक फीलिंग थी कश्मीर में भाईचारे की वो सब झेलम नदी में बह गई सो ये ऐसी ही त्रासदी है जो मैं इसमें लिखी है और आप पूछें कुछ और
The book actually touches upon all the aspects of how it started and what people went through before, after, and I was actually spellbound listening to you. One last question: you have dedicated this book to Pandit Amarnath Vaishnavi. What made you to do so?
See, Amarnath Vaishnavi, he was my teacher, NCC teacher. I was highly, motivated by him. During his service time, he was early in Handwara when I was studying in 6th and 7th class. But from my teachers, I would hear from them his social work, his patriotism for the country. And my father was also very socialist. and patriot. So he asked me, "You go and meet Vaishnavi ji." From Sogam, I went to meet him and with was with him for few hours. And then after one year, 1.5 years, he got posted to my school, Sogam, where I was studying. So it was a coincidence. And in the complete school at Sogam, about 350 students were there. I was the only sixth student among all. So I was a Hindi student. My all subjects were in Hindi. I had never read even Alif Bay of Urdu, though though studied in Kashmir, but it did not read Urdu. So he was very much affected. I mean, affected me. I say he was motivated. I was motivated by him, and he had a very soft corner for me. He would teach me certain things which were very patriotic, which were just for the sake of country one should do. So like that, it was my association with him. He taught me so much that even my father could have not taught me. So this was, I was always indebted to him. So that made me to dedicate this book to Vaishnavi ji, who had fought for the Kashmiri cause throughout his life, and that was the so much I was innovated and for with him got activated, and his motivation also only made me to join the Air Force. So as another book which is just recently published, there's also uh, poetry book in Punjabi. That book I dedicated to my father. Recently, it has just 3 months back, it has been published. I dedicated it to my father. So this book I dedicated to Pandit Vaishnavi because I thought him as a father. So that was the reason.
That's lovely. And I'm really, I feel privileged for having written the foreword of Raktim Tandav. And thank you very much, Mr. Rena. It was an amazing conversation and hearing the verses of uh, the book. And I now hand over to Mr. Shankar.
Thank you
Thank you,
very much.
Rohini ji. Thank you, Bhupinder Singh ji too, for this review with her. I could see it's very emotional, and the points that he touched upon, and the way he explained. When he talked about Swarg, I think he was talking like Swarga Bhumi became like a terrorist Bhumi. That's what he was referring to.
Yes,
True.
Even we can't, like I was telling Rohini ji, we can't be pretending as if nothing is happening. Just 2 or 3 hours ago, we heard the news. Puran Christian Bhatt was shot dead. Right? It is all over the internet if you open the Twitter.
yes,
It's very unfortunate, and I think you touched upon the point that friends turned against each other suddenly, uh, like what you mentioned. I just wanted to ask you, with the Sikh community, by the way, we are very happy to have someone like you joining our program. Is Sikh community also suffered like the Kashmiri Pandit community
Actually,
in
Sikhs
displacement?
were also very much affected. During this turmoil, if 128 Pandits were killed, they were, but same time 117 Sikhs were also killed during this crisis. So it is not only the Kashmiri Pandits were affected, even Sikhs were also affected. Though they had a courage to stay back during winters, they come out to Jammu, and during summers they go back because they have some lands farm. They are farmers, so they go back. But they are always on the edge of sword. Anything can happen to them anytime because, as I told you, 117 Sikhs were killed during this turmoil. So it it was not only Pandits, all, even some Muslims, those who were mm, very patriotic and thought of India, they were also marginalized, and some of them were killed also. So it is the total Kashmir is ruined, and it is on the, it is still no good. You see, many murders, many killings happen every day. Some, those who have Indian, some laborers or some vendors, they get killed. So it is always there, and it is not going to end so shortly. We can talk on it sometimes also later, because some poems are so much, even in today's day also, we are not safe in Kashmir. Even Kashmiris are come out, but those who are meaning there, few, 1.1% or 0.5%, they are still on the edge of their their uh, exit. So it is, and there's no end to it. I can say it that way. Do Kashmir, I mean, Indian government is trying to do everything, but their mind, their heart, the Muslims of that area, their mind and heart is, you can't change up till the time their heart is not changed. Nothing's going to remain peaceful.
Yeah, that's quite an appeal. Like I ask every Kashmiri Pandit, I should also ask you this. You also think of returning to Kashmir one day to go and live among the other communities. Do you have any plans to return to Kashmir?
At present, we can't say anything what's going to happen in future, but the government claims that everything is in control and maybe in favor of India. The God only knows what's going to happen, but the trust is not there. Till the time Kashmiri Muslims don't trust India and India doesn't trust Kashmiri Muslims, till the time this problem is going to continue and will continue by force. You can't, you can change one's actions, but you can't change one's mind, one's heart. So lot of has to be done. Let us see and wish all the
Yeah.
best for the future.
Yeah, we will continue doing what we are doing now, creating this awareness, so people get to know more about Kashmiri issues and the problems that people have gone through. At least people get to know about Kashmir now. That is the only thing we can be doing online.
चलिए.
Okay, thank you, sir, for appearing in our program and
Thanks
sharing
very
your
much
thoughts
giving
on
me a
this.
chance. I'm also thankful that you gave me a chance to be with you people and with the audience, those who will be, seeing us. I'm thankful to everyone, especially Rohini ji.
Thank you, sir. Namaskar. It was an honor
So,
talking to you about your book. Thank you.
Thank you, Rohini
Welcome.
ji, for joining us.
Thank you, sir. Namaskar.
We will see you in another book review soon.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, viewers. Today's program was slightly different. We wanted to bring someone from Sikh community to share their views. It is not, as he mentioned, it is not always Kashmiri Pandits alone. There are other communities also who suffered in this terrorist activities. As we speak today, there is some big news going on there in Kashmir that you will get to know. We want to thank all our viewers who continue to join us in our Saturday program. We want to thank Kanji Mutt for all the streaming through various media channels, VDSP for streaming activities, and Dinamalar for giving coverage to our program. Next Saturday, the program is going to be different. It's going to be from a tourist perspective. Someone who visited Kashmir after watching our program is going to share his views and how someone like him could think of planning a trip to Kashmir. He's going to give a lot of tips. So please stay tuned and watch our program next Saturday. Till then, Jai Jai Shankara, Hara Hara Shankara.